How was your weekend? I'm good. Early morning. How about rest? Guys, how are you guys doing? Good. Hey, Ramu. Where is this guy? Tapas. Good. All right. Let me share my screen. Tapas is in cloud? Uh-huh. Yeah, really. Okay. Yeah, sweetie. Hi. Great. So, guys, good that we are all met together again. Do you remember? By the way, anyone new today, by any chance? Just raise the hands virtually. One. Okay, only one. Okay, no problem. So, Jagdish, please continue. We just started this class a couple of days back, so we were just going through the basics, right? Yeah, Mohan, that too. So what, guys? So the other guys, my old guys. So are we? Did we jump into the AWS topic yet? Can we confirm? No. So, guys, Jagdish and rest those who are joined. So, all right. So, wow. Nagbabu, Mr. Nagbabu has put my rest of the classes, the old classes in YouTube already. So, please go through that. Uh, those who have missed my classes. Fantastic. So, let's move on. So, guys, if you remember, in the last class, we have discussed quite a lot about Mr. Tapas and Ramu. Do you remember the story still? Yeah. So, guys, we discussed that how so Tapas was handling the data centers and how is Ramu is worried about the business, right? And then we had a data centers, and then how we moved from physical to virtual migration, right, guys? And then how the AWS came into picture, guys. Can you confirm? Is this clear till here? Like, why we had moved from physical to virtual and virtual to AWS? So everyone, even 1% that you don't have doubts that why we moved from physical servers to virtualization, from virtualization to AWS. So everyone are crystal clear that there is a high need that we should not handle the physical servers anymore. And that's why we went to the virtualization. Even though if we went to the virtualization, if you're handling the data centers by yourself, there are again the same problems, and that's why AWS came into picture. And what AWS said, hey, don't worry, Tapas. So what AWS said, just leave everything and I will be handling your data centers. So AWS will be handling the Tapas data centers. Yes, Tapas here is client. So what AWS said, AWS said that he will be handling data centers behalf of customers, behalf of clients. Okay, so that is clearly which it says that we have moved from physical to virtual and virtual to AWS. So where is this cloud coming into picture now, guys? Can you tell me? AWS is handling our data centers. So that meaning he is not handling your data center. That meaning which is in your company. No. As AWS has gone, AWS has gone. Okay, I'm going to switch on your videos. Okay. So those who are guys, basically AWS, they will not come to your company, and then they will not be asking you that. They will be handling your data centers. No, as AWS has become number one, so AWS has its own data centers. AWS has its own data centers across the world, right? So AWS has a data center across the world. Hey, someone is asking, Ramu, what is hypervisor? Guys, what is hypervisor? Anyone? See, beautiful. So hypervisor is a software is used to install virtual machines, or we call it as virtualization layer. If you install virtualization layer like VMware, Hyper-V, or Oracle VirtualBox, any kind of softwares, you should be able to create a small some virtual machine on your laptop or on your one server. So that is hypervisor. Before going to that, guys, do you remember this this traditional architecture? First, we have, what is this called? The whole machine, we call it as what? Remember, we call it as host. We call it as host machine. What is that called? Host machine. All the machines we call it as host machine. On top of the host machine, what you have? Hardware. On top of it, you have the operating system. On top of it, you have application. This is our traditional architecture. Guys, remember, this is my traditional architecture. If you want to have virtualization architecture, what you have on top of the hardware? You have hypervisor. That hypervisor, we call it as virtualization layer. And then on top of it, we create a small machines. What are those machines called? Bolo? What are those machines called? Come on, answer, guys. Rest, everyone. Virtual machines, right? We call it as virtual machines, or we call it as guest machines. Virtual machines or guest machines. Good. So each and every virtual machine, virtual because we cannot touch, guys, it is imaginary, it's a virtual machine, right? So each virtual machine will act as as a server. Basically, how this our traditional architecture works, the same way the virtual machine will also work as your normal server. If you log into virtual machine, you really don't understand whether you have logged into virtual machine or a physical machine. That's how similar it look likes. Okay, guys, so you have virtualization here, that is called bare metal virtualization. So another kind, you have your hardware, on top of it you have operating system, on top of it you have hypervisor, on top of it you have virtual machines. This architecture we call it as host based virtualization. Bare metal and host based, these are the two different types of virtualization we have it. Bare metal meaning mostly you use in your data centers. Host based virtualization meaning our laptops. Guys, in your laptops, anyone has Oracle VirtualBox installed or Vagrant installed? So that those are all, yeah. So those are all the Oracle VirtualBox. Those are all the hypervisors that you can, on top of it, you can install the virtual machines. You can create a virtual machines. Good. So what do you think AWS is using? Physical machines or virtualization? So he might be having definitely the virtualization, the bare metal virtualization, obviously. He will be using the bare metal virtualizations, and then on top of, and he will be, of course, he had a physical machines. On top of it, he will be using this virtualization. Excellent, guys. Okay, so that was the clear summary of what we have discussed in the last class. Okay, so now let us talk a little bit more about this our provider. So guys, what are all these here? Can I call it as infrastructure? Guys, what Tapas is handling here, all this we call it as infrastructure, yes or no? Yes, all this is infrastructure. So now after AWS has came into picture, your infrastructure will be handled by you or AWS? AWS. So do you agree that AWS is providing us infrastructure? Excellent. So that is what AWS is doing us, right? AWS will provide infrastructure as a service for us, right? So guys, remember, AWS is not going to each and every company and asking, hey, are you using data center? I will handle it. Are you using data center? I will handle it. No. So as AWS has become number one, so he itself, he put this in the market that, hey, everyone in the world, I am AWS, where I will provide you infrastructure as a service. You no need to handle the data centers. Now I will give you the data centers to you, which is handled by me. You don't have any access to the data centers where you can go and create only virtual machines. Of course, you can create a small your virtual networks and all, but the thing is, guys, the customer doesn't have. Can you tell me the customer will have access to your to AWS data center host machines, all these things? No. So AWS will give you option only to create these small virtual machines, only this layer. I'll talk more about this slowly. Hold on. So now, and again, guys, can you tell me, AWS has infrastructure around across the world. Is this only in certain place, or it is there in across the world in every country, most of the countries? It is everywhere. So the across the world, yeah. So AWS, he has the data centers in US. He has data centers in Ireland. He has the data centers in mostly most of the Europe. He has the data centers in Tokyo. He has the data centers in Singapore. He has the data centers in Australia, Sydney. He has the data centers in India, also in Mumbai. Where guys, in India? Where is AWS infrastructure? In Mumbai. In Mumbai also we have it. In Mumbai also we have it. So based on our requirement, let's say Sunil Kamra, right? Sunil, you have your customers, most of your customers in India. Which AWS data center would you choose? Mumbai or other one? Mumbai, India itself. So based on our requirement, we would be choosing the AWS infrastructures. We call it as global infrastructure. Keep this in mind. What we call it as global infrastructure. AWS has global infrastructures. Let us go to next powerful print. So AWS has global infra. AWS has global infrastructure. Guys, AWS is providing us what service? What is providing to us? Can you tell me? Is providing infrastructure as a service for us. Good. All right, guys. Now, can you tell me this infrastructure, that meaning these AWS provided data centers, where is it present? It is present at the remote location or not? Yes. So all these data centers are present at the remote location. So you might be sitting in your home, or you might be sitting in your office, or you might be sitting in somewhere a park place or some other place, and then if you connect to the internet directly, you can connect to the AWS infrastructure. So guys, the infrastructure, the data centers, right, which is AWS data centers are present at the remote location, and that remote location is called as cloud. And that remote location is called it as cloud. So what is cloud? Where is cloud, guys? Where is cloud? Many of the people, those who don't know, like me, in my initial days when I was studying, when I was before working on the cloud, I also thought that cloud is really in the sky. Obviously, right? Cloud is present on the sky, in the sky. right? So even most of the time, people thought like, cloud provides rain, but in general, how come it is providing servers for us now, right? So don't think, guys, like, like someone said, like, he studied physics in BCom, right? So it is not like that. So it is like cloud is not our cloud. At least our cloud is not present on the sky. Where is our cloud? Answer that. Cloud is present in the remote location. Understood? Cloud it is present in the remote location. So guys, that is very important. Where is cloud? So cloud is present in the remote location. Hey, what is that remote location called? What is that exact remote location? Of course, remote location is called it as cloud. What is that exact remote location? We call it as excellent data center. Very good, very good. You are getting it. Understood, guys? So AWS, in direct word, AWS has its own data centers across the world. Whenever we want, we can access his data centers and create servers. And instead of having our own data centers in our company or in our place, we will be accessing AWS's data center. Because are we responsible for AWS data centers? Tell me that. No. So AWS will give us an option. Basically, AWS give us an option to create servers. To create servers. Let us go deeper into it now. Good. Guys, you understood where is cloud? So can you tell me cloud will work without your network, without your internet? How do you connect to the cloud? Using internet, right? So we need internet to connect to the cloud. Guys, cloud is nothing but remote location. Cloud is present in the remote location. Cloud, in the other name, we call it as data centers, which is handled by AWS. Guys, here, as we are learning about AWS, we call it as AWS here. Azure is also providing, Google Cloud is also providing the same thing. All this, remember, the concepts are same for all cloud providers, right? As we are more deeper into the AWS, I'm using AWS as a name. Guys, is this clear till here before going to the next topic? Good. So here the keywords are, remember, keywords that you have to remember. So you know what is infrastructure. You know what is cloud, remote location, data center, keywords. Guys, do you have any questions on these keywords? Everyone understand this? What is infrastructure? What is cloud? And then we have used virtualization, host machine, keywords. Host machine is the actual physical machine. And then VM, virtual machine, meaning both are same. Sumit. So what is Sumit is asking what is the difference between infrastructure and DC. Your infrastructure will be inside your DC. DC meaning data center. Data center is just a room. Inside it, you have all your servers, networks, which is all this connected, right? Everything we call it as infrastructure. Good. Very good. So these are all the keywords that we have learned. Fantastic. All right, guys, let's just jump into the next topic here. Now you know what is cloud, right? And where is cloud? Cloud is, a collection of all the servers in that through the remote, and then and working on it. So guys, now you say, sir, I understood what is cloud, but in the pamphlets or in many of the papers, it says cloud computing, sir. What is this cloud computing? Guys, everyone understood what is cloud. Cloud is present at the remote location, right? And then you will be connecting through the internet, of course, through the network, and that is called cloud. And what the hell is this? Is cloud computing. And before also that, you might have understand, sir, why the hell they named it as cloud? Why not star, sun, or thunder, or something? Hey, anyone network administrators here in my session? Anyone network administrator? So why they named it as cloud? So cloud can store. So that's why we call it as cloud. Why can't they call it as a drum if they should be storing, sweetie? Right? So here, guys, if you ask any network administrator, I say like Ashwini Kumar here, right? So Ashwini Kumar is there. So if I ask Ashwini Kumar, hey Ashwini Kumar, can you connect Hyderabad and Mumbai? Can you draw a network diagram? Simply what he say, he will take a pen and he'll say that, sir, this is this is Hyderabad and this is Mumbai. How do they connect? Hey Ashwini, can you tell me, is this correct or not? Any network administrator, he will be drawing like this or not? Can you confirm? I'm not telling. Let ask the network admin guy itself. So guys, mostly yes. If you anyone take, if anyone ask you to connect two places, so this guy is Hyderabad and this guy is Mumbai. Guys, what did he draw? How does it look to you? Yeah, it looks like cloud. And then how he has presented Hyderabad, he has presented this is as a remote location. Yes or no? Mumbai is a remote location, and that remote location, basically we call it as remote location only. But how does it look like? It look like cloud. So there is no big fancy story behind the cloud where why they have named it as exactly cloud. It's just like, as we have it in IT industry, like mostly remote location is defined as this symbol and diagram. And we know that our data centers is also in remote location, and obviously we draw remote location like this, and that is why they named it as cloud. So there is no big fancy definition, right? So they both connect with the internet. Guys, hey, those who are new, I see there are many people joined. So those who are new, we have already covered a couple of classes. Please go through the YouTube links, right? So if you don't understand anything, please ask me later. So we can have a separate few minutes, not today, someday, that if you don't understand any topic, we'll take it, right? So now most of my people are all students, those who have already joined since day one. Those who are new, I see many people here, number of participants, right? So guys, please bear with me because we have already started. Those who have new, please go through the YouTube. There you can listen my lecture on the previous topics. Make sense? Okay, so guys, this is cloud, and now you understand what is cloud. Cloud is present at the remote location and all. And what is cloud computing? Before going to the cloud computing, guys, what is computing in general? What is computing? You have your laptop or desktop or workstation, whatever it is, you have it. And you are doing computing in your laptop. Yes or no? What is computing? Putting the data on your and removing the data. You are manipulating the data, right? So yeah, thank you, Mr. Nagbabu. Nagbabu has put my YouTube links there. Please go through that, right? So guys, so the thing is here, computing meaning basically you are doing all kind of manipulations or all kind of putting the data, removing the data in your machine. Here machine is mostly people will use your laptops, right? Your laptops. You are doing computing locally, yes or no? You are doing computing locally, your own hardware, even though you have your own data center. even though you have your own data center, all the entire data centers is owned by you. Entire data center is owned by you. That meaning the hard disk is yours, the network is yours, your data is yours, everything is yours. So you are doing computing locally in your company or in your machine, right? Instead of doing now, do we have data center in our company? Because no, because Tapas has moved from uh, see physical data center to he has moved to virtualization, and first virtualization he moved to cloud, and cloud is nothing but our AWS. In AWS, what we have? In AWS, we have remote location, and that remote location we call it as data center. So the physical data, we don't have physical data centers anymore. We have it. You will learn concepts slowly. Just imagine for now. So we have migrated all these physical data centers to the cloud. We have migrated all these physical data centers to the AWS remote location called data centers, AWS data centers. So now you are not doing computing here. You are doing computing in the remote location. Guys, what is that remote location called? What is that remote location called? Yeah, data center. That remote location we call it as cloud, isn't it? We can. Where is it? This remote location we call it as cloud, right? You are not doing computing here in locally. You are doing computing on the cloud, and that is why it is called cloud computing. Right? Is it looking like Akpak Karepak? Right? But yes, cloud computing definition is very simple, right? So I'll just put it here for your reference. Huh? See, instead of doing computing on your local machines, you will do now computing on remote location. That remote location is nothing but cloud. If you're doing computing on remote location in cloud, we call it as, that is called cloud computing. Guys, remember, I told you that our definitions will be in KISS format. What is KISS? Don't worry. KISS meaning keep it simple, right? So let us learn in our language, in our own language, right? In our own English. You know, the English is different. Our own language is, English language is different, right? So let us learn in our language. Let us understand the concept first. Then you can put your own masalas, right? You can put your fancy namings and all. Just we need to understand the concepts first. Yeah, yes. So guys, you understood what is cloud and what is cloud computing? Is it clear? Superb, 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 superb. Okay, now guys, in order to make this entire cloud working, so AWS is hey, can you see, guys, I'll be asking you questions in between, right? So that helps me that how good you understood. So AWS provide what as a service? AWS is providing dash as a service, huh? Infrastructure as a service. Okay, very good, excellent, right? So yeah, fantastic, guys. And remember, Ramu is a businessman here that we have discussed yesterday in the last class. He is worried that he's good in business, and then Tapas is worried about how to handle the data centers, and that's why AWS came into picture. And then AWS is providing the global infrastructure for us, and then we'll be using his data centers. And now Ramu has got some $1,000 million big project, and AWS said that, hey, if you get 5 times double than this also, I will be handling his. AWS said to Ramu. So Ramu got awaked. Sorry, awaked meaning he got shocked. Right. So the thing is, how does AWS is handling such a big network? Are we responsible for that? No. We are not responsible for that. So let him handle. The only we have to think is whether AWS is providing us infrastructure or not. right? So that is the only main concern. And remember, AWS is not doing the magic. There is no abracadabra, right? So he is not doing any magic. AWS is also in the same situation where the tapas was. Where was the tapas? He was handling multiple data centers with virtualization. Might be with the VMware, he might install a Hyper-V. Guys, and AWS is also in the same area, where same situation where Tapas is, but Tapas could not able to handle it. But AWS has a very good professional, very big technical guys, where they are handling quite professionally. Don't think that AWS is doing some magic. So it just like responsibility got transferred to the AWS, and rest everything's are same. Isn't okay? So don't think the AWS doing magic. Of course, he's doing us giving us like a magic, all the servers and all, with just like that, right? Virtual machines and all. But remember, AWS is using. Don't think that AWS is using VMware and all. So AWS was using is using basically a software called Zen. Zen virtualization, right? He's not using VMware or Hyper-V and all. He has his like virtualization concept called Zen. He'll be using this Zen virtualization concept, but we don't worry much about this because the data center is handled by him, not us. We are not handling the host machines. AWS is handling the host machines. What do we need to create on the AWS, guys? Can someone answer? What do we need to create on the AWS? Virtual machines. What that? Excellent. What that? Virtual machines. Excellent. Guys, you know what is cloud, and you know what is cloud computing, and you know this. And the next concept, guys. So now you know AWS is number one in the market. Why? We have discussed in the first class, right? And in order to make this work, in order to make this work, like the cloud working beautifully, because AWS is giving us super good infrastructure, very big infrastructure. Whenever we want, like if I say AWS, can you give me 10 servers? Take it. Whenever, if you ask AWS, can you give me 100? Take it, just like that. And if you ask AWS, hey, can you give me 1,000? Just take it. 2,000? Just take it. 3,000? Just take it. How many you want, AWS is giving you within a few minutes or few seconds, right? So how does this is working in the backend? So guys, for this we have two things here. In order to make this cloud working beautifully, we have two models. One is, we call it as deployment models, and number two, we call it as service models. Two, we call it as service models. You might have heard this. I am calling it as a deployment model because it looks like professional. In other words, we call it as different types of cloud, right? So what are the different types of cloud? You know this very well, huh? Don't worry if you don't know. But those who know, can you just tell me? What are the different types of cloud? Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. Enough. But is you can go with the community cloud also. Now you remember, right? So these are all called deployment models, guys. These are all called deployment models. So whenever you go to the interview, if you ask, hey, hey Krishna, what are the different types of deployment models we have at on cloud? Deployment models are what? Deployment models, yes. Pass, passer, right? So if the interview said, hey, different models is public cloud, private, public cloud, private code, that is not called deployment model, sir. That is called different types of cloud. So it is not different types of cloud. Of course, the layman language is different types of cloud. We should be learning it as deployment models. What is called it as deployment. Let me put it very easy for you now. See, guys, now Krishna, I'll take you. Hope you don't mind. So those who are in my latest chart, so I'll be using his name, their names, right? So Krishna, let's say uh, Krishna want to give some service to the people like AWS. AWS want to give a service. What service is giving? Infrastructure is giving. So if anyone is coming to the market and he want to give service to the people, whether he want to give for everyone or he want to give for only someone, or if you want to give for everyone plus someone, so he need to decide, right? So AWS has decided that this infrastructure he want to give it only for few people, for everyone, yeah, for entire public. Tell me that entire public can access AWS. Anyone can access AWS. Anyone can go and create AWS. Yes or no? Yes, everyone can go and create AWS. You can go and set up AWS. You can go and sign up to AWS. That meaning the services which is providing by the cloud provider is accessed by everyone. That is called public cloud. The services which are accessed by everyone is called public cloud. Hmm? Like, like AWS, isn't it? So now, private cloud. Now you tell me, the name itself is called it as private. So is it possible to access by everyone this private cloud? No. So that's why here the services which are accessed within the organization. Within the organization is called private cloud. Guys, so see, I'll put it as see here simply. So let's say this is the cloud, public cloud. So guys, public cloud, anyone can go and access. Yes or no? Everyone can go and access. This is called public cloud. Right? And if there is a, I don't have space, but if there is a cloud which is private and no one able to access from outside, no one will be able to access it. No one. What is that called? Private cloud. For example, you have Oracle cloud or IBM cloud, or because let's take I don't remember, like let's say IBM or Oracle, they have their own clouds. That meaning they only their employees will be able to access their cloud. Can anyone go and use the IBM cloud or Oracle cloud or some other which is in private? No. Yeah, Cisco cloud and all, they have their own clouds. Those clouds are called private only for their company, only for their organization. That is why I said within the organization. That's why I said here within the organization. That is called private cloud. No one from outside will be able to access it. That is called private cloud. And how about public cloud? How about hybrid cloud? What is hybrid cloud? Everyone knows this. The combination of public and private is called hybrid cloud. The combination of public and private is called, the combination of public and private clouds is called hybrid cloud. So with permissions, yeah. So yes. So here, hybrid cloud meaning the combination of public and private. For example, let's say IBM is using his own cloud for certain services, and and IBM might also using AWS for to access few services from AWS. So that combination we call it as hybrid cloud. Those who are accessing, those who are using private their own clouds as well as some public cloud providers like Azure, Google Cloud, AWS, and all. So that combination we call it as hybrid cloud. Guys, community cloud is same as private cloud, but can be accessible from few organizations. So it is same as private cloud. Private cloud, no one will be having permissions from outside. But if you give permissions for few organizations, few companies to access that private cloud, that is called community cloud. Or few organizations, or we call it as few communities. That is called community cloud. Guys, is this clear? So which cloud will be using it in our course? Question. Public cloud. So AWS, can I say AWS is a public cloud provider? Yes. Now let me form the definition of AWS, which you know it here. I will form it as like this. Guys, AWS is a public provider. AWS is a public cloud provider which provides infrastructure as a service. Guys, you got the AWS definition. Makes sense? The AWS definition makes sense? You know what is infrastructure as a service. You know what is public cloud provider. And that's a definition of AWS. Simple definition of AWS. AWS is a public cloud provider. That meaning everyone can go and sign up AWS, right? And then and it provides infrastructure as a service. That meaning it provides us infrastructure. That meaning like servers, network, storage, whatnot. It provides whatever is there, whatever you want it in your whatever you're doing in your data center, in your own data centers. In fact, you will be calling it as, you will be doing even more in AWS. AWS will be giving you more infrastructure than your own infrastructure. Keeping in mind, don't think that sir, my own infrastructure, I have access to this, I can create this, I can create that, but on cloud I cannot do this, I cannot. No, you can do everything except you cannot do anything on their network, on their data center network, on their host machines, on their virtualization, on their physical machines. You cannot do anything because that is in remote location. In your on-premises data centers, you have your own server, right? But on cloud, you can create servers. That means you can create only virtual machines, nothing else. Of course, you can create storage. You have so many things, but for now, we just understand. So you cannot have physical machines and all. You can have only virtual machines. So there is question. Oracle Cloud also provides service similar to AWS, isn't it? And like I know companies using Oracle Cloud. Yes, if it is that the case, then it is a public cloud. Simple as that. Sai Ramji. Rama, what is the example of community cloud? So community cloud, there will not be an example like, let's say there is a company IBM, right? So if he give access this cloud, cloud to some other companies, that kind of combination we call it as community cloud. So you don't bang your heads with hybrid and community. That's a technique. There is no company that will be giving as a community cloud. No, right? So mostly we'll be concentrating more on this guy because AWS is sitting over here. Is this clear? Everyone till here? Everyone, any questions still here? Let's go slowly. Aram say everyone have to understand. Looks like there are many my old students here, isn't it? Huh? Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. So, guys, we know the deployment models. Guys, this is an interview question. Most of the people for 2-3 years of experience. Ramu, sir, AWS plus Linux is enough for job. Are you fresher, Ramu? So, if you are a fresher, AWS and all this is a very big asset. But if you are experienced, definitely depends. Like you might need to go with the DevOps also, because DevOps is very hot in the market now. AWS plus DevOps. So it is not like AWS plus Linux, right? It's AWS plus DevOps. DevOps includes your Linux, your all kind of stuff there. To give you a straight answer there. Okay, so guys, this is what we have discussed here. So here deployment models. See, there are certain services and working behind the scenes, like to make this cloud computing feasible, and for the end users, following the working models of this cloud. So this is the deployment models. How you want to deploy your cloud is called deployment models, Munna. Right? So how do you deploy the cloud? You need to choose one of the deployment model here. Okay, I know you are my old guy. Right? So good. So guys, this is deployment model. Let us talk about service models. Service models, we call it as anyone? Infrastructure as a service. In other words, this one. And then platform as a service. And then software as a service. Oops. Okay. So guys, service models here we have mainly. Sorry, Sumit. Thanks for that. That was a typo. Thank you for that. Sorry. Right. So, I was nowadays I was working on IAC also, like infrastructure as a code. You will be learning later when you are very good in right nowadays. So, okay. So, infrastructure as service. No wiser. Can you hear me? Okay. So I have very good bass voice, so sweetie, you can hear it. Check on your side. Okay, guys, these are all the three major service models we have it, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So, guys, it also call it as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. If you ask me personally, I don't like to be calling it as PaaS, SaaS, right? And then here you call it as SaaS, right? Don't call it as, right? So if anyone asks you, hey, what are the different service models? Don't start saying that as pass SaaS. It looks very awkward, right? It is not good to, especially for the freshers, those who are 2, 3, 4 experienced guys. Don't call it as pass SaaS, right? Call it as, see clearly, say that infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Right? So guys, what is this infrastructure as service? Can you tell me, guys? We have already learned about this infrastructure as service. Infrastructure as a service meaning those who provide the infrastructure for us. Sweetie, please check on your side. Everyone are clear with my voice. They are able to hear. or rejoin, or I think we are mostly done. Hold on. Right. So infrastructure as a service, meaning guys, yeah, those excellent tapas. So those services, like those providers who provide infrastructure to the clients, we call it as infrastructure as a service, right? And guys, in general, those who are experienced, also those who are new, also guys, they might have very like you might have confusion on the differences between infrastructure as service, platform as service, and software as service. We know AWS provide infrastructure as service, but what all it contains inside it, what all infrastructure that is provide, right? What the customer is responsible for, what is customer is responsible for on platform as service, and what is platform as a service, and who provides that, and what are we responsible on, and what is software as a service, what we gonna do there, right? And what are the examples for that? All these things we'll see it in the next class. And tomorrow would be a very interesting topic again. So I will be taking very deeper into this infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, so that you will never have any doubts on these basic concepts of cloud. So I don't talk about, I can simply say that, hey, infrastructure, those who provide infrastructure, platform is service, those who provide platform, and software meaning those who provide software to you. That's the actual definitions. But see, that is not good to learn like, that's not good to learn like that. So I would be taking you uh, the actual scenario of, on the customer should choose what kind of service model. So you want to set up a business, and what service model do you need to choose, and you have your application, whether you need to go for infrastructure as service or platform as service or software as service. We don't know. We'll see that tomorrow. And then the difference between all these things, and client's perspective, customer perspective, and all, we'll see that in next class. Right. Directly you're asking me how much is the fees for that. So you just contact guys, those who want to know more about uh, non-technical things, please contact Mr. Nagababu. No problem, Kodandapani. So I like your name, man. Kodandapani, nice. Welcome to my class. Right. So please check with Mr. Nagababu. You can continue with, and then guys, those who are new today, please go through my what do you call my YouTube, my previous classes in YouTube, right? And then don't worry, for new guys, I will conduct you a special class. So go through that, my YouTube, because you missed my classes now, right? 2 or 3 classes, all are basic classes. Go through that, that was only 1 hour, like, or 1.5 hours. Just hold on. So management is calling me just to tell something. Hold on. Hey, Kumaran. Yeah. Hey, we have an announcement here. Hey, don't leave yet. We have announcement tomorrow. Seems like link will be changed. Just now I got informed by Mr. Nagababu. Right. So guys, tomorrow, please. It has been informed that please do register and do the payments. And then guys, I don't want to miss you, and then you should not miss the classes, right? So please do it today. And then from tomorrow onwards, we'll be continuing into the topics. And keep in mind, from tomorrow onwards, we'll be jumping into the actual concepts of cloud. So tomorrow I'll be talking about these service models as well as I'll be talking about what the basic concepts of cloud, like elasticity, scalability, right, high availability, all kind of T's, right? So which is very, 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 very important to go to the cloud. So tomorrow would be that class, and then we will jump into the actual AWS. So mostly the basic classes are done by now in couple of days. So guys, don't miss it. And then you have also free Linux classes for AWS students. So go with that. And then any questions? How this AWS is useful for software developers? Sure. So for software developers, definitely this will also be useful because, guys, remember, uh, see, whatever you develop nowadays, as you know that everyone are migrating to AWS, and you should be also be knowing how to deploy these applications on cloud. And most of the cloud people are using is AWS. So as a developer, companies will expect you not only to develop only Java, you should be also knowing how to deploy it, how to handle it on the servers, right? So if you are plain, no, I don't want anything, I want to just develop Java and all. So guys, I would recommend to not to keep this kind of mindset nowadays, because nowadays the entire market is getting changed. Even the developer is also expected to learn all these things. So guys, all these developers, they will be moving to the cloud, and you will be developing and putting everything onto the cloud. So for developers also, it's very, very useful. And for administrators and for operation side, definitely this is the piece for you. You should not gonna miss this, definitely. Can you please share the course content? Definitely, I have already shared for the course content. All, please check with Mr. Nagbabu. But we have already discussed what we're gonna discuss in our classes in our initial step. And is it helpful for the automation testers? Hey Krishna, automation testers. See, I would recommend those who are on the manual testing. It would either you need to move to the automation testing because there is no much thing on manual. And for the automation testing, guys, now you guys are using cloud also to do all kind of testing. So now, because I have also testers in my company, so they are using AWS clouds to do all kind of this automation testing. Because remember, guys, you don't have on premises anymore, and the future will be everything on cloud. Keep this in mind. Future will be on cloud. If you, this is the right step to learn about this AWS, otherwise you're gonna miss it. And you should have a right trainer to give you the nice concepts. Remember, for AWS developer, which coding language needed? Hey, AWS developer, there is no specific language to be learned, Ramu. AWS is a AWS developer is a combination of architect and development. So whatever you developer, whatever you are comfortable with, Java, .NET, and whatever it is, basically everyone will be, you need to learn, because you, that is a core language. On top of it, you'll be learning AWS when you are starting new batch. This is my new batch, Kodandapani, but I don't have any plans yet to start a new batch, but it will take time. So this is the only batch at the moment running for me. I'm by GCP and AWS is related. If I learn GCP, AWS will be easy. Ashwini, yeah, I have a meeting. So, Ashwini, I would recommend to go with AWS first and then learn GCP, because AWS is very user friendly. You can learn many topics, and then AWS is number one in the market. After that, GCP will be very easy for you. So it is other way around, Ashwini Kumar, right? Hey guys, I will be taking many more questions definitely from tomorrow. I will be giving you a guidance. Hey, I will be giving you interview questions, certification questions. I will giving you at the end practice papers, and I will be taking all kind of shit, all kind of stuff. Don't worry, right? You might have known my old students. You might have known this already. So guys, let's rock from tomorrow with the next topics on actual cloud. So that is all for today, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. And please proceed with your all formalities.